Good morning, everyone. My name is Pete Peterson. We're going to start the ceremony now. And the first thing we do is we're going to begin with the invocation with Pastor Bill Rice from Glory Day Lutheran Church.
Thank you, Pete. Yes, please join me in prayer this morning. Gracious God, on this Memorial Day weekend, we remember and give thanks for those who have given their lives in the service of our country. When the need was greatest, they stepped forward and did their duty to defend the freedoms that we enjoy and to win the same for others. Oh God, you yourself have taught that no love is greater than that which gives itself for another. These honored dead gave the most precious gift they had, life itself, for loved ones and neighbors, for comrades, for country, and for us. We want to honor them so much in the power of your sacred name. Amen.
Okay, now the band is going to play the national anthem. The band is directed by Alex Kopechna. Alex? At this time, we're going to have the raising of the flag to full staff. Laurie Zimmerman, President of the Tomah Veterans Association, will raise the flag. Thank you, Laurie. At this time, we're going to hear from, let me see where I wrote the name. His name is Mr. Youngsmith. He's going to read Logan's orders, followed by the Gettysburg Address.
Headquarters, Grand Army of the Republic, Washington, D.C., May 5th, 1868. The 30th day of May, 1868 is designated for the purpose of strewing with flowers or otherwise decorating the graves of comrades who died in defense of their country during the late rebellion and whose bodies now lie in almost every city, village, and hamlet churchyard in the land. In this observance, no form or ceremony is prescribed, but posts and comrades will in their own way arrange such fitting services and testimonials of respect as circumstances may permit. If other eyes grow dull and other hands slack, or other hearts cold in the solemn trust, ours shall keep it well as long as the light and warmth of life remains in us. Let us then, at the time appointed, gather around their sacred remains and garland their passionless mounds above them with choicest flowers of springtime. Let us raise above them the dear old flag they saved from dishonor. Let us in this solemn presence renew our pledges to aid and assist those whom they have left among us as sacred charges upon the nation's gratitude, the soldiers and their sailors, widow and orphan. It is the purpose of the Commander-in-Chief to inaugurate this observance with the hope that it will be kept up from year to year while a survivor of the war remains to honor the memory of his departed comrades. He earnestly desires that the public press to call attention to this order and lend its friendly aid in bringing it to the notice of comrades in all parts of the country in time for simultaneous compliance therewithin. John A. Logan, Commander-in-Chief. Four months after the terrible battle at Gettysburg, November 19th, 1863, Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. 77 years ago, our fathers brought forth on this continent a new nation, conceived in liberty and dedicated to the proposition that all men are created equal. Now we are engaged in a great civil war, testing whether that nation or any nation so conceived or so dedicated can long endure. We are met on a great battlefield of that war. We have come to dedicate a portion of that field as a final resting place for those who here gave their lives that the nation might live. It is altogether fitting and proper that we should do this. But in a larger sense, we cannot dedicate, we cannot consecrate, we cannot hallow this ground. The brave men living and dead who struggled here have consecrated it far above our poor power to add or detract. The world will little note nor long remember what we say here, but it can never forget what they did here. It is for us, the living rather, to be dedicated here to the unfinished work which they who fought here have thus far so nobly advanced. It is rather for us to be here dedicated to the great task remaining before us, that from these honored dead we take increased devotion to that cause for which they gave the last full measure of devotion. That we here highly resolve that these dead shall not have died in vain, that this nation under God shall have a new birth of freedom, and that government of the people, by the people, and for the people shall not perish from the earth.
Thank you. Our speaker today is Mr. Brendan Smith. I'll read from his biography. Brendan Smith was born and raised in Bloomington, Indiana, and after completing college joined the Air Force. In this role, he was a weapons system officer where he flew the F-111 Aardvark and the F-15 East Strike Eagle. In 1996, he transitioned to the Wisconsin Air National Guard at Volk Field, where he held a variety of positions. While doing so, he continued to fly the C-130 Hercules and the RC-26 Condor reconnaissance aircraft. He accumulated 2,200 flight hours in these aircraft, which includes over 600 hours combat time and 170 combat missions over Iraq in the F-15E and RC-26. Brendan ended his uniformed military service as the Director of Operations at Volk Field in 2010 and transitioned to a civilian Department of Defense position there before moving to Tomah, VA in 2015 as head of the Information Technology Department. He indicates his proudest accomplishment, though, are his 32-year marriage to his wife Laura and raising their daughters Emily and Kelly in Tomah, with full credit going to Laura. Mr. Smith.
Good morning, and thanks. And I think we really owe a thanks to whoever was able to bring such nice weather to us today. Beautiful day for this ceremony. So, again, as you heard, very nice introduction. My name's Brendan Smith, and I had the honor of serving our country's armed forces for 21 years in uniform and 5 years out of uniform before moving to the VA here in Tomah, where I'm equally honored to serve my fellow veterans who bear the scars, some visible, some not, of their dedicated service to our country. I'm here today to hopefully impress upon you one thing that unites us as Americans, even in these most fractured times. We do not forget. Whether it's an hour ago, or a century ago, we remember. We remember the 7,000 Wisconsinites who were killed in World War II. We remember the 800 Wisconsinites who were killed in Korea. The 1,163 who were killed in Vietnam, the 91 in Iraq, the 34 in Afghanistan, and we will remember those who, in the future, fight and die to protect all that we hold so dear. One of the most important things that we must hold dear and never take for granted are the unalienable rights which our forefathers established through our foundational documents and institutions. But it's often our military men and women who understand best that those rights are one side of a coin, with the other being the responsibilities that come with defending and responsibly exercising those rights, fully understanding that such a defense comes at great personal cost to those who have chosen to serve. The men and women who have died for our freedoms represent the diverse patchwork that is the United States of America. They were rich, poor, black, brown, white, male, female. They were from cities, farms, suburbs. They came from every ethnicity, background, and political spectrum. In short, they really look like any one of us. But they all had one common characteristic. They had the courage to take an oath that asked them to die for our country if called upon to do so. For that, we do not forget. We can ensure that the memories of those heroes and their sacrifices are not in vain. We will ensure that future generations understand the importance of service, sacrifice, and honor. We ensure through our own community service that our country remains strong, free, and prosperous. Memorial Day is a time when many proudly display poppies, not as a symbol of what was lost, but as reminders of living legacies. Today we are the living. We are dedicated to continuing the work of those who have gone before us. We are dedicated to preserving the memory of our fallen heroes and declaring our unending gratitude and support to their families. We do not forget the families of the fallen, but I'd also ask you to keep the families of our current serving members in your thoughts and prayers. They too pay a dear price for service as they hug their son, daughter, husband, wife, father, mother, or any other relation as they're called to duty in a dangerous world. I think of my own I think of my own deployments overseas several times and my family's sacrifices. The worry they had for my safety and the times I simply wasn't there for important milestones in their lives. Their service is equally honorable and worthy of recognition. But let's take this time to specifically remember and honor the men and women who gave their lives for this great country. Let us reflect on their courage, their sacrifice, and their dedication to a cause much greater than themselves. And let us recommit ourselves to the cause of freedom, justice, and democracy, so that the legacy of our fallen heroes will live on for generations to come. We do not forget as we continue to mourn their loss, but we also celebrate their lives for all they've given us. I'd also ask that you not forget those who have survived our nation's conflicts and bear the lifelong mental and physical scars associated with that service. The VA here in Tomah is a visible reminder of that can too often be overlooked for the important mission it accomplishes in caring for our veteran population. I thank you for your attendance today and ask that you, with your remembrance and support, continue to bless America and those who have made the ultimate sacrifices for the freedoms that we enjoy today. Thank you.
I think now we're going to have some music from the band. At this time, we're going to have the laying of the wreath by Lori Zimmerman. Next on the agenda is the firing by the American Legion firing squad. I know they don't like to be called a firing squad, but I got that one. That's for playing music and the taps. Now, benediction for Pastor Rice.
Let us join in prayer. Holy One, help us to remember that freedom is not free. There are times when its cost is indeed dear. Let us, as our speaker reminded us, never forget those who paid so terrible a price to ensure that our freedom would be our legacy. Help us keep their names alive, their sacrifices alive. Was not to let them fade with the passing generations, so that we never forget what they have done, and help us to be worthy of their sacrifice. We pray this in the name of the one who gave it all for us too. In his name, amen.
Thank you, Pastor Rice. Thank you to the band. You guys do such a doggone good job. You know, really appreciate it. I want to thank everybody for attending today's service, ceremony. It's always so good to see all the people here. I look forward to the people I see, and I was looking around, and I finally spotted John Kenny in the back. So we're good to go now. It was a good service, a good program, and thank you, and we're going to have some special music now.
So on this portion of the community update, we take you back to Memorial Day this past Monday out here at Oak Grove Cemetery for the Memorial Day program. Pete Peterson has been doing this for many, many years, and Pete always does a tremendous job. And there have been years where the weather has not been the best, but this Monday, just a perfect day. Could not ask for a better day. So again, you've been looking at the Memorial Day program this past Monday. Very well attended, as you can see out here at the Oak Grove Cemetery. When you get a chance, thank a veteran. We hope you enjoyed this on the Hagen Sports Network.
Tomah Health's Warren's Clinic provides convenient, quality care for same-day or next-day appointments.
At Tomah Health Warren's Clinic, we're able to see patients for cough, sore throat, ear pain, and other minor illness and injuries. An appointment can be scheduled by contacting the clinic, and we'll get you in that day or the next.
Warren's Clinic also offers occupational health services, such as pre-employment physicals and DOT exams.
Tomah Health Warren's Clinic offers convenient, quality care when you need it most.
As the community update continues, we're talking with Todd Steffel. Todd, it's Memorial Day weekend. 5th year the Tomah Legion has had the car and truck show down here at Winnebago Park, and we talked a little bit off the air. Number-wise, this is the most you've ever had, right?
Yep, we're up to 70 vehicles now, cars and trucks, all kinds of years, all kinds of makes. It's really turning out well. We've even had a few guests show up that got special vehicles. Greg will get to you on that a little bit.
Right.
It's been great, and you can't ask for a better weather. We got the DJ rolling over here.
You really are. One thing about,
but we've been doing this now for 5 years, and we're just continuing saga from a gentleman that had this going out here a few years back, Todd Stark. So we figured we just keep it rolling, and you can't ask for a better location and a better day.
Absolutely. I've talked to a lot, and really when I walk around here, these people they're from all over Wisconsin. They're from all over, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean, I've got people that have come over here from Wausau, a couple people from Milwaukee. I've got some people that have come over from like La Crescent, and we've got our regular people from around here, but there's cars out here that I've never seen before, and we're up to 70 cars already out here.
Right now, I know you have the fish fry on a regular basis at the Legion. Sensing outside of that, is this your biggest fundraiser?
Well, this is a fundraiser. We don't make a ton of money on this, but Harley.
Yeah.
We don't make a ton of money on this, but we get everybody together, and these people love to show off their cars, and this is why they do it. So, I mean, it's a lot of fun. You get to see a lot. Like here's 2 Corvettes rolling in.
Yeah.
Corvette.
Yeah.
I do must say,
you can only wish to have that kind of money.
I've done a better job.
Yeah. So how do you get the word out to these guys? If I walk around here, a lot of these guys have been. Most people that are here today, have they been here before?
Yeah, I'd have to say probably at least 60% are recurring car show people, and they'll bring a different car in maybe once in a while, a couple different years, and then I put the flyer out on Facebook and through a couple of the car show groups on Facebook. A lot of this is just word of mouth. I don't get phone calls saying, hey, I hear you're doing a thing. Can I bring my car? I said, that's why we're doing it.
And one of the last things you do later today, you give out awards, and that's difficult because I wouldn't want to be a judge, to put it that way. It's very difficult to decide who gets these awards.
Oh my God, there's so many nice cars out here. You hate to hurt anybody's feelings, but you got to pick one.
Yeah.
And we're doing 4 awards. We have Best of show selected by Legion Baseball. Best of show picked out by the Boy Scouts. Best of show Commander's Choice. And then we have the People's Choice, where people get the number off the dash register. And I've got a little bucket up here, and they throw their numbers in there. And around 2 o'clock, we'll count them all up and see who the people really liked.
Okay, so the people decide one of the winners, but
Yep.
the other three, are you a judge? Who's the judges? Who decides that?
I'm the baseball choice.
Okay.
One of the scout leaders and the scouts, they'll pick out their favorite one.
Sure.
And then I have 2 vice commanders here from the Legion, and then they'll pick out a vehicle.
Okay. And how ironic, we do this Memorial Day weekend. I mean, we're down here, we're having a great time. We're going to walk around and talk to people, but bottom line is you got to think about all the people that are not here, that are the reason we're here this Memorial Day week. And I would imagine the two go hand in hand. You have it Memorial Weekend, and you're the American Legion, so the two go hand in hand, don't they?
Yeah, I mean, it just works out, and the Legion supporting this. I've got a lot of Legion members out here that have their vehicles, and a lot of Legion members that come out here just to see all the vehicles.
Exactly, yeah. Todd, I know you're very busy. I took you away from something. Thank you for your time. I'm going to walk around here and talk to different people at random. Thank you for your time.
Okay, thank you, Greg.
This is a 2022 XXX 410 Outlaw Series sprint car. My son Tyler drives it. He's 21. Been driving since he was 10. We run the outlaw circuits, which is North Dakota, South Dakota, Missouri, Illinois, Iowa, and Wisconsin.
We talked a little bit off the air. You normally would be racing today, wouldn't you?
Right. We ended up having a head gasket pop, and we're waiting for the head gaskets to get here. A lot of parts are on short supply, so you're kind of at the mercy of whatever you can do to get parts.
First time down in Tomah, you're from Wapaka.
Right.
People have been looking at your vehicle all morning long. People have been sitting in your vehicle, and we're going to get a shot right here. And there's not a lot of room in there, but you say your son fits in here, right?
Yeah, what he does, I take the side panel off so the kids can get in.
Correct, yeah.
But it normally sits like that. He'll climb right through this hole here.
Really?
And then he'll drop in. Steering wheel comes off to be able to get in and out of it.
Okay.
To get it into gear, because it's a push start, there's no transmission, there is no clutch, there's no starter. That black lever right there, you push that down and it drops it into gear.
Sure, okay, makes sense.
And then you get behind it with a push truck, they'll start to push them, they'll spin the engine over, sliding the tires, and as soon as he gets oil pressure, he'll flip that switch, and that turns the mag on.
Sure, okay.
The slowest this will go is 30 miles an hour.
Wow.
He's had it up to almost 160 last year at Anago. It runs on methanol alcohol, and it gets about a half mile to a gallon.
And you race all over, don't you?
Right, we go all over the place. Every weekend, it's usually 1 to 2, sometimes 3 shows a weekend.
And it sounds like, talking with you off the air, your son does very well, doesn't he?
He did really good last year. He was 9th in points for IRA Outlaws. He was a top 3 finalist for National Rookie of the Year, which is pretty cool in my book, to be recognized that way. That was his first year in a 410. These get up to 900, 950 horse.
Wow.
And with my son in this car, it's about 1,450 pounds with him in it. It'll hold 28 gallons of alcohol
over here, yeah.
in there, and we'll burn through that in a heartbeat.
So that holds 28
gallons.
Wow, okay.
The wing, he can slide back and forth as he's moving, depending on if he wants to get more weight on the tail, he'll pull that lever, and this will slide back and put weight on it. It puts, they say, somewhere around 5,000 pounds of downforce on it.
So these wings we're looking at right now, they could move while he's driving?
Right.
Okay.
He can move it Forward is a little tougher. If you can get down slow enough, they'll move forward. But a lot of them, once you pull it back, it's kind of, because there's so much downforce, it doesn't want to push that weight. It goes backwards better than it does forwards. The compression ratio is a lot of times 16, 17 to 1, so they sound pretty healthy, and they're a blast to drive.
How many years have you been doing this?
My dad did it for 16 years.
Okay.
He passed away in '81. I started with a midget, goofed around with that, and then did the vintage stuff, and I've had 5 surgeries on my spine, so I thought I better slow down a little bit. And then put my son into one of these, which is called a micro sprint. It uses a 600cc crotch rocket motor, and looks just like this, just smaller, and just gradually kept getting him up in classes to where he wasn't jumping into these right off the bat, because these all hurt you bad, and just let him grow into it. And now he's just wide open with it and just flies. It's pretty cool when you can see your son run a race car.
Yeah. Okay, so your dad did it for 16 years.
Right.
Your son's doing it now. Have you ever raced at all?
Yeah, I raced. I've always had a bad spine, so I just didn't do the extreme my son does. But he can make these things scoot, and it's a good time. It's expensive, but we do it as a family, and it's such a blast because, you know, there's a lot of people that don't get a chance to do that. We have good sponsors.
I would say bottom line is it's all about sponsors, isn't it?
Sponsorships, yeah. We have Professional Plating, we have Fable Repair, we have all these people just help out big time with it. We couldn't do it without them.
Yeah.
Because it's too expensive.
Just out of curiosity, you say you travel all around. Favorite track where you've done very well? Anything come to mind?
He is awesome at Beaver Dam.
Why do you think that is?
Just the way the layout of the track is.
Okay.
The banking, maybe the width, the way the car handles. Every night we have to play with this to get this thing to handle because you have different track conditions. And weather temperature, humidity in the air, all makes a difference with these. And if you can get these hooked up to where you're getting the right fuel, you're getting the right handling, they're a blast to drive.
Okay, so if you were racing today, your competition, would all your competition look like this?
They'd look just like this.
Identical?
Identical.
Okay, and you talked about the weight earlier. Is there a certain weight it has to be?
We have to be 1,425 pounds. We can't be any lighter than that.
And do they weigh you in for the race? Wow.
When you qualify, as soon as you qualify, you come in and go across the scale. And you better be 1,425 or heavier, or it doesn't count.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
We've come in already where we were 6 pounds over, and we just barely made it. They told my son to go eat a cheeseburger.
No, that's a good. I mean, that's a good point. Does that include the weight of the driver?
That's with the driver.
Well, so if your son was here, he would get in it, and they'd weigh it with him in it.
Weigh it with him in it. Yeah.
Okay.
You'd have to be 1,425.
Wow.
And then, you know, you've got all the safety stuff. I'm big on safety. Like his Butler built full containment seat. He has what's called.
Where now?
This seat. These are over $2,500.
Well, I wouldn't doubt it. Yeah. Okay.
It's got 5-point belts. He wears a next-gen collar that goes over his shoulders.
Sure.
Keeps his head from extending. You're safer in this than you are out on the highway.
I was just going to ask you that. Absolutely.
So, but the flips are violent. You know.
And I would imagine it happens periodically.
Yeah, it happens every once in a while, and it's hard to watch. But there's a lot of maintenance to these. You know, some people will think, oh, you just bring it home in a trailer and leave it. It's crazy. what you got to do to keep them going.
We have tractor pull here every year. It's coming up the end of June. I talk with the pullers that bring tractors down. It's a lot of money invested into it. And I'm guessing if somebody said, hey, I want to start doing what Tim's doing, it would be, is it expensive sport to do?
It's very expensive. It's expensive to get into. This trailer is 51 feet long.
Yeah, I was looking at that, yeah.
I paid more for this almost than I did my house 24 years ago. And that's not even a top-of-the-line trailer, but you get $200,000-300,000 into a truck and a trailer.
Yeah.
Now you've got $50,000 into an engine. You put 20 or 30 into a car. You got to have sponsors because it's just too much.
Yeah, we'll look at some of your sponsors up here.
Sure.
Okay, there you go.
And here's another one.
Sure.
I take the panel off so the kids can get in it.
Right.
So I like to let anybody that wants to get in it. Fable Repair and Collision.
Sure.
Bloomfield Automotive
Go around
painted
the
it
front
for
here.
us.
Okay.
Nancy's Flip and Do, that's my son's girlfriend's mom's business.
Okay.
They help us out
Sure.
huge.
Sure.
John and Michelle Stens, that's one of my school buddies from years ago. MPD Pallets, Marvin Metals.
So it's actually a sprint car, as it says right here, right?
Yes, it's an outlaw sprint car. And
Okay.
what they mean by outlaw sprint car is the Outlaws we don't have a home track.
Right.
Like some tracks, Sirius will have Plymouth as their home track, or Wilmot. We don't have one. We travel. So that's where the term outlaw comes from. And like this weekend we were at Wilmot, and then up to Mishkot, which is by Green Bay, and then all of a sudden we're in North Dakota,
Yeah.
Missouri, Iowa, and it's fun because you get to travel these different tracks. You aren't stuck at the same track every week. So it breaks up the monotony of going to the same place every week.
All right, so educate me on outlaw racing. If you were racing today, how far did they race? Talk about that for me.
When we get there, we get the car set up. They'll go out for hot laps, kind of shake the car out, put a little heat in the motor, and we have heaters on here that we can plug in. We can get the water up to 180, 190 degrees before we even race, and kind of get everything warmed up to oil, and then he'll go out and qualify. You get 2 laps to qualify.
Okay.
You want to go as fast as you can because that gives you a good spot in your heat race. And the top 4 will automatically go into the A main from a heat race where you get your spot from qualifying. The rest go into a B main. So you want to make the A. You don't want to have to run a B, which is 12 laps, to try and get into the A because it's going to put you in the back of the A anyways. And then do your 25 to 30 lap feature at the end of the night.
So if you win, can you make some pretty decent money?
Yes, you can make. Next weekend we are doing a race for Rudine.
Okay.
Mr. Rudine had a son who committed suicide, and he holds this race every year, and it's $26,000 to win. It's $26,000 to win, $1,000 just to start the race. So you can make some bucks, but there's also going to be a lot of cars
absolutely.
after this $26,000.
Tim, if memory serves me correctly, you mentioned the racing in the Dakotas. I don't remember you talking about Wisconsin. Do you race it all in Wisconsin?
Oh yeah, we have a lot of races. We are in Sun Prairie, Beaver Dam. Well, not Beaver Dam this year. Sun Prairie, Plymouth, Wilmot. We're in Seymour. We're in Cedar Lake. I would say, a good 2/3 of our race
are here?
end up in Wisconsin.
Okay.
So if you want, you can go to Flow Racing It's on TV. We're on TV every weekend.
Great, great.
Or follow the IRA Outlaw series on the internet. You can watch them on YouTube. Tyler is on YouTube. And just try and make it to a track.
Final thought, Tim, because I know people want to look at your vehicle down here. Final thought, you said 16 years ago. Your dad raced for 16 years. Your son's doing it now. Biggest change in the 16 plus years in outlaw racing that you've seen?
The cost. The cost is horrible. But everything has gone up. You know, I can remember when I started out, I had a little trailer that was open trailer. You go down the road and everybody could see it.
Yeah.
Now,
yeah.
You have that, or the cost is just unreal. And you know, to have a good car, you're looking at $70,000 to $80,000. It can be gone in a heartbeat. So you got to plan on that car being wiped out. You know, and it happens. So I would say the cost is what's the killer.
Sure.
Because it's just as much fun, but it's just harder to do every year, and especially now because availability of parts, it's crazy. Some of the parts are out half a year, you know, and you can't get them.
We're in a world where you have to wait, don't you?
That's
the
it.
world we're in right now.
You have to wait, and with a race car, your racing season's over if you have to wait. You know, so we have fun. We do it as a family. That's all we've really done, and we just keep plugging away.
So Tim, out of curiosity, what do you do for a living in Wapaka?
I retired.
You're retired. Good
I
for you.
drove semi.
Okay.
And my son drives semi now, so I retired last year and still drive part-time for the same place my son drives for, MPD Pallets out of Wapaka. So it's kind of a chip off the old block.
Sure.
He's a good kid. He's got a girlfriend, Nina, that her family raced. Her grandpa raced, her dad raced, two uncles raced. So she's involved with us. They just got a bunch of T-shirts yesterday, and you know, they're gonna sell T-shirts and hoodies, and so if let us know. Go to Tischendorfracing.com and we can get you whatever you want, or just come out to the IRA sprint car races and have some fun.
One more time as we wrap it up, Tim, from Wapaka. Again, if people want to watch the racing, where do they go? How do you find the racing?
How do you find it?
Yes.
Just go on the internet. Go to IRA Sprints.
It's that easy, huh?
.com, and there's a schedule. There are points. It'll tell you about the drivers.
Great.
Yeah, it's just go to IRA Racing, and there it is. Give you the whole schedule for the year.
Sure.
You go to the track. You can go into the pits. You can hang out with the drivers. You can even get lucky and say, "Hey, I want to learn how to work on a car."
There you go.
Come help. I mean, you know, we're not that. We've already had kids come up and say, "Hey, come on, you want to help work on a car?"
Sure.
And they eat this stuff up.
Yeah.
You know, and then you got a fan for life. You know, so I'm for the kids. You know, and if you don't have the kids doing it now, you don't have them doing it later. So.
And prior to you and I talking, you've got all kinds of people over here. This is a hot item. People are looking at it, aren't they?
Yeah, it's harder here because as far as Tomah goes, there's not a lot of sprint cars.
Correct.
You get down by Madison area, Green Bay area, then they understand what it is. But a lot of them say, "Oh, I see these on TV. You guys are nuts." And it's like, yeah, we're nuts.
Tim, thank you for talking with me. Appreciate your time. Thank you so much.
Oh, I appreciate it. I was glad I could talk to you.
All right, Tim from Wapaka just talked with us again. We're going to show you the back and the front of this Outlaw. Again, Tim talked with us down here at the car show on Memorial Day weekend. This is the back of it, obviously, and that's what the vehicle looks like from the front. So, again, special thanks to Tim from Wapaka talking about his Outlaw vehicle down here on this Memorial Day weekend at Winnebago Park, and we're going to walk around and talk to some more people as the update continues. All right, we're down here at Winnebago Park for the Car and Truck Show on Memorial Day weekend. This is Barney from Wisconsin Rapids. Barney, Barn Rod, it's a very unique vehicle. I want you to talk more about it in a moment. What's the story on this vehicle?
I am a gas engine collector, and I envisioned of having a engine that a hit and miss engine, because I'm a hit and miss engine collector. I wanted to have something I could drive in a parade. So this is my parade truck, and I built this with a couple of friends of mine from bumper to bumper. This last year we put the wrecker boom in, and we have a Model T engine in here, and we'll finish the video out with that Model T engine. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to show off my favorite engine, and I've been in a few parades with it, and it makes a lot of smiles. It's all about making smiles, because this thing is just, everything's repurposed on it from bumper to bumper. And I wanted to, just to show off the gas engine hobby. The engine that's on here is like from 1909, and we'll get to that in a little bit. The horseshoes are pony horseshoes from Tractor Supply Store.
Until you mentioned that, I did not realize that was a horseshoe. I did not notice that. You're right.
Yep, those are pony horseshoes. There's about 27 to 30 horseshoes onto this whole project.
Wow.
This is a Ford tailgate. Okay, because this is what I had, and the salvage yard had a Chevrolet bed. Anyway, and I put this together for the bed. The frame on the truck is 1949 Chevrolet, 3/4 ton, and that's what it also has for the transmission. The transmission is a 4-speed with a granny low, and I've hooked this up to the eliminator at Plainfield. There's a YouTube video on that. There's a few YouTube videos. Just search Barn Rod. The cab is diamond reel. The diamond reel cab, and it's decorated all the way into the inside of the truck. And knife switches, that's what we used on the old antique gas engines.
Okay.
Yeah. And one of my good friends, he's a knife maker, and he made me a knife, Barn Rod, and that has the colors. Hey, we got a fire extinguisher for safety.
Yeah, I see that.
So the engine itself, the engine is 1909. It's a 5-horse engine that weighs 1,200 pounds. The RPM of it is 350 RPM. My top speed on this truck is 10 miles an hour. But keep in mind, we're about a 5-horse engine moving 5,000 plus pounds. And I built this for smiles.
Barney, the town of Remington has my attention. What is this all about?
Okay, the cab was at the salvage yard, and it was a 12-ton dump truck at one time. And so anyhow, the cab was way up to here. It was really up to there, this handle. Way up here, big gas tank underneath it and stuff. So anyhow, the truck got scrapped. It was on the way to getting crushed. And so anyhow, I bought the cab, and I was like, this is going to be the start for my rat rod project. So this is the very first hit and miss rat rod truck. The engine is one of my favorite engines in my collection. I've got 23 of these hit and miss engines. And what better way to show off a gas engine than driving it in a parade?
Absolutely. So do you do a lot of parades?
Yes, I was even honored to have Miss Stevens Point right on the back.
Really? Okay, so it's kind of like the old Johnny Cash song. You kind of built it one piece at a time?
Yes, I've heard that many times,
How
Johnny
long
Cash.
does it start from day one to get it to where it's at right now? How long does it take you?
2-year build on this.
Wow.
2-year build. It was part-time. I draw sketches and stuff out, and I share the pictures with my machinist friends to figure out this drive. If you take a look at the drive on here, we've got a T transmission. It's a T-style transmission. What it means is it has 1 input, 2 outputs. And the chain coupler goes to a stub shaft, and that stub shaft is bolted to a Chevrolet flywheel and clutch. That clutch has the ring gear on it, and that starter will start this truck up. I'll do a little startup for you at the end of the video.
Sure, that's what we're hoping for. I'd like you to do that, yeah.
Okay, come over to the front of the engine. The engine is a Lawson, made in New Holstein, Wisconsin. And the history on the engine is that it was recovered over near Escanaba, Michigan. It was hooked up to a shingle mill cutting cedar shakes.
Wow. Okay.
So the engine has been rebuilt from end to end, new valves and bearings and sleeves. So it's a fine running engine. And how a hit and miss engine works is right here is a latch. See this latch right here? It'll engage right there, and this holds this push rod.
Sure.
That push rod is the exhaust valve. It'll hold the exhaust valve in so the engine can coast.
Okay.
And then when the governor springs release that, it'll be a 4-stroke gas engine. Please don't confuse it for a steam engine.
Right.
It's not a steam engine, it's a 4-stroke gas engine. So I've got all these knife switches on the dash. They all function, they work the lights. The big one is to start it, and I have a push pedal on the floor.
Yeah, see that, yeah.
That's for to engage the starter.
Okay.
Okay, and I'll hit the switch, and well, here's the starter down here. Okay, I'm gonna push that in, and the wheels are gonna turn.
Okay.
1, 2, and on 3. Now I'm going to point out the mechanical spark plug, which is called an igniter. Okay. The drip oiler on the top is to lubricate the piston. Sure, okay. Shut her down. Okay. Now this last winter I built a record boom, and I have a Model T engine in the back that was cut down by somebody else, and I have it bolted on the back to give the illusion that it powers the winch.
Wow.
When I took the oil pan off of this Model T engine, I was absolutely amazed to see that the previous owner, they cut the center of the crank out and they welded it together right along with the cam.
Yep.
And that is just absolutely something to share. And so anyway, I mounted the engine upside down. And I'll happily start that up for you.
Yeah, please do.
Power it up here. Little choke. I put this on here for an educational display to show people how a gas engine works.
Sure.
The boom is very interesting because the boom is way over 100 years old. That,
yeah, I was going to say, it looks like it's got some years on it. Where do you find this?
That was actually recovered from Shaw's wrecking yard.
Okay.
It's a hay elevator, and I believe horses probably pulled that to lift the hay off the ground, and it would drop the hay onto a trailer, and would be a guy on the trailer to shovel the hay back. And it's been repurposed for a record boom. Hey, we got to point out my two favorite girls here.
All right, let's do that.
Here are my rats. That's Thelma and Louise.
Daddy's got pet rats.
You got a rat rod, you got to have some rats.
Oh, sure, okay.
And back here, if you can get a picture of this guy, this is Billy Bob. He's a Model T piston, but he's my bobblehead. He looks back and forth and up and down.
Okay, all right.
It's all about smiles here.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I hope if you're in central Wisconsin area, and my vision is to get over to the Pittsfield Parade for the 4th of July and drive through the Pittsfield Parade with it.
Yeah.
That would be its longest endurance run.
Now it only goes 10 miles an hour, you said, right?
Yes,
so
only 10 miles.
How did you get it here? You didn't drive it here, right?
No, I didn't drive it here. I put it on the trailer. I get ribbed quite a bit because it only goes 10 miles an hour, but I tell guys that if they ask me, how fast is it going? I'll tell them, I got it up to 70 miles today. 70 miles an hour, how can that be? And I says it was riding on the trailer.
I guess out of curiosity, Barney, has anybody ever said, hey, I'd like to buy it from you? Does that happen?
Yes, I had 2 people that have offered me a nice sum of money for it.
And?
That's a very nice compliment, but this is my baby.
Yeah.
And I enjoy showing it off.
Yeah, it's very unique, and prior to you and I talking, you gave a couple kids a ride, didn't you?
Yes, we took a little ride around the park here, and they're going to have a smile all day. So.
Barney from Wisconsin Rapids, hey, thank you for showing your vehicle. It's very unique.
Thank you
for your
very
time.
much.
Appreciate it. All right, we're down at Winnebago Park Memorial Day weekend for the Car and Truck Show. This is Cameron. Cameron, the General Lee brings back some memories. One of my favorite TV shows growing up. Talk about the story. What's the story on this one?
Well, we bought the car back in 2017 or so, and yeah, it was already painted like this and had all the decals on it already, and it had a 440 in it, and you know, nothing was numbers matching, and it was pretty poorly done, so we ripped it out and threw a 392 Hemi in it, so out of a 2018 Dodge Charger.
So it's got a Hemi in it now, you said?
Yep.
Wow.
6'4", got about 500 horse. So, yeah, it was pretty tough getting it in, but we did her.
And you said when you bought the vehicle it was already this color?
Yep, it was already this color.
Wow.
We ended up painting the engine bay here. You can see it's just a little bit brighter than the car body.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, dual electric fans, aluminum radiator, power steering, AC.
Cameron, I'm always curious how people, I mean, how do you run across this vehicle? Are you random? How do you find it?
Well, you just got to keep going on Facebook Marketplace and Craigslist and just hunting for it. We actually bought it from 2 state troopers in Minnesota.
Wow.
So, yeah, they owned it and had a lot of fun with it, and they weren't mechanics, so it needed a lot of work, so.
Do you go to a lot of car shows?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we go to a lot of car shows.
First time in Tomah?
Yep, this is the first time in Tomah here, so.
Wow.
So
I'm guessing
the best spot for a car show that you could ask for.
Yeah, I mean, right on the lake, and that's what a lot of people talk about. Just out of curiosity, somebody's had to come up to you and say, hey, I'll take it off your hands. Has it been tempting to sell it or not?
No, I love this car. I don't think I could put a price on it.
Really?
And, I mean, the Dukes of Hazzard was my favorite TV show.
You're too young to remember that, man. You're too young to remember Dukes of Hazzard.
No, I got a CD set when I was, I don't know, 3rd grade or so, and absolutely loved it. So I kept asking them for Christmas, and they kept getting for me, and I've watched every episode, and it's actually signed by.
I was going to say, yeah, show me that. Yeah, that's what somebody was pointing that out to me.
Yeah, we were actually in Sparta, Wisconsin, at a bar, and it was Tom Wopat was there, and yeah, signed the glove box. It says, "Keep it between the ditches."
I want to make sure
that was really cool to meet him.
And make sure we can show
awesome
that.
Guy.
Wow, okay, so how long ago was that then?
That was about, let's see, last fall. So really recently. So, yeah.
So did you have to renovate the inside at all?
No, the interior was pretty clean. It had a 4-speed manual in it before. We put a 5-speed transmission.
Wow.
And we had to use an automatic center console because the manual, you know, it dishes out a little bit towards the left side. So.
Sure.
And then we put some new carpet in. Other than that, not a whole lot. So
did you drive it down here?
Yep.
Wow.
Yep, we drove it down here.
Wow.
So yeah, it's a fun car.
Yeah, I bet it is. First time I'm guessing in Tomah?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
See you
First time
back
in
here
Tomah.
next year, maybe?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Do you do any parades or anything like that? I would imagine. Any parades or no?
We usually do a parade in our hometown. Other than that, not a whole lot.
Okay.
So yeah, it's definitely a neck breaker.
How many miles does it have on it?
It had about originally it had about 50,000 miles,
Okay.
and then after we restored it, it's only got about 1,500 miles on it.
So is this your only vehicle, or do you have other unique vehicles like this one?
Oh well, I have a '74 Chevelle Malibu that I put a 5.3 LS in it.
Okay.
So yeah, that's just my fun car. It's not restored or anything, so it's pretty crusty yet, but I like to have fun with it.
Hey, thank you for talking with me. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
See if this one works.
Cameron and the whole.
Thank you.
Thanks, Cameron. I should have asked you to do that. Yeah.
Yep.
All right. So again, this is Cameron. This is the General Lee down here at Winnebago Park Memorial Day weekend. Car and truck show going on. We thank everybody that's talked with us so far, and we're going to walk around and talk with some more people as the update continues. This is another look at the side of the General Lee. Beautiful, beautiful vehicle. And this is one more shot of the General Lee. All right, we're down here at Winnebago Park, Memorial Day weekend for the Car and Truck Show. This is Dane. And talk about this Mazda to my right. Steering wheel's on the wrong side. What's that all about, man?
This is a 1993 AutoZam AZ1 produced by Mazda.
Okay,
it's a Japanese import
walk back
car.
here. Okay, let's walk back here a little bit, Dane. Okay. Wow, okay.
Yeah, it's a right-hand drive. It's 5-speed manual. 20,000 original miles on it.
Wow. Looks in good shape.
Yes, it's one of the cleanest ones in the country that we found. With this low miles, there's only one other one that's got a little bit lower.
Wow.
It's a 3-cylinder, turbocharged, fuel-injected engine.
Okay, yeah, an engine right here, yeah.
It's got full coilover suspension, full titanium exhaust, titanium sway bars and sway links, and anti-dampeners.
So, Dane, what attracts you to wanting this type of vehicle?
I've always been a numbers kind of guy. I always liked the classic numbers.
Okay.
They only ever made 4,000 of these cars.
Really?
This is one of 150 factory Mazda Speed editions. And what makes it a Mazda Speed is the factory spoiler. The factory front bumper is different than the actual other cars.
Sure.
They only actually came in red, blue, and black. And this one, the paint was a little bad, so a month ago we tore all the way down to the monocoque and repainted it this hell-raising purple.
So you mentioned there's not a lot of these out there. Is it hard to find this one? Do you find it by accident, or how do you find this one?
You can find them. They're getting imported here and there to the United States. It just depends on how deep you want to pull their pocketbook out.
Yeah. I'm guessing, like I've talked to most people today, first of all, do you do a lot of car shows?
Yes, try to do a lot. Depends on if we have a car ready for the year or not.
Sure. Well, then I'm guessing that at times people have had to come up to you and say, hey, I'll take it off your hands for a price. Does that happen? Is it tempting to get rid of it?
Oh, some cars, yeah, cars, yeah. I just recently sold my Chevelle that I had for 20 years.
Oh, so you have more than just what we're seeing today?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. I got a few other classic cars that are nice numbers matching, but that was just a standard Chevelle, and this one has good numbers provenance, so I know the value will go up, and we kind of a little bit more reliable and drive it.
And the door is flipping up. That's very unique.
Yep, they got the gull wing doors.
Very unique.
It's got this half window.
Oh, did not see that.
Yep, that's all the bigger the window is.
Wow. Okay. Wow.
Under the frunk is the spare tire of death, they like to say.
Okay. Oh, sure. Okay.
After '91, the first year of production, they actually moved the tire to the behind the driver's seat because they were having accidents and people were getting hurt with this tire flying up. The original design was supposed to have pop-up headlights from the factory, but with concerns of all the electronics, they decided to go with.
How many miles on it?
Only 20,000 on it.
Wow. I imagine you drive it around a lot?
We just kind of recently got it done, so we've been trying to put some miles on it, get all the little things dialed in, and we hope to own it for quite a while. Unless, like you said, somebody shows up with the right money. You just never know.
So it's a Mazda, but what year Mazda are we talking, Dave?
93.
93, okay. Yeah. Wow. And again, this is a car that there's not a lot of them out there, correct?
No.
Yeah.
There was only 4,000 ever made, and I think there's probably a few hundred in the States. There's one other one that I know of in Wisconsin right now.
So you're seeing another one, huh?
Yep, we were trying to make it to Automotion.
Okay.
To meet up with him last week, but we had a malfunction with the brake switch, and didn't feel like going down in car traffic with no taillights.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I don't blame you. Hey, Dan, thank you for showing me your vehicle. Thank you for your time. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.
And again, this is Dane's 1993 Mazda. Front view, a very unique car. And this is the back shot of the Mazda. Well, I know in the update we're down here at Winnebago Park on Saturday, 27th of May for the 5th Annual American Legion Car and Truck Show. We're going to walk around and talk to some more people. This is the back of his beautiful vehicle, 1929 Ford. And we'll show you the front in a second here. And this is the front of the vehicle, 1929 Ford. All right, we're just going to kind of walk around here and show you some of the many vehicles down here.
Out there and like, no, that's newer.
But I mean, I just see it set there when I go by.
Yep.
They certainly know what they can do with it. And if we want to sell it sometime, let me have dibs on it.
All right, we're down here at the car and truck show, Memorial Day weekend in Tomah down at Winnebago Park. This gentleman is from Winona. This is the Superbird, a very unique car. What's the story on it?
Well, years and years ago, in 1977, I was working in a body shop,
friend of mine came in that was a classic car dealer, wanted me to do a quickie on the Superbird. I says, I'm not going to do a quickie on a Superbird, that's too rare. What do you got to have for the car the way it sits? He said, I'll get back to you. He got back to me and I bought it. Spent the next couple years restoring it like it is now.
Did you have to put a lot of work into it?
Yeah, I did. It had a fair amount of rust on it when I bought it.
Okay.
And
what type of engine we talking?
This is a 446 pack, 3 2-barrels on there, 390 horsepower.
Okay. And you've had it for how many years, you said now?
I bought it in 1977.
Wow.
Long, long time. Back when you could afford them.
Yeah, no kidding. So I would imagine when you go to car shows, there must be people that say, I'll take it off your hand for a price. Does that ever happen?
Yeah, it happens, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It's not for sale. Won't be for a long time.
It's always unique how people find these vehicles. And now do you have other vehicles similar to this at home?
I've got one more. I've got a Challenger TA 346 pack.
Wow. Superbird. To go, let's walk back here. What did you have to, let's walk back here. Did you have to, what was the inside? I mean, did you have to do some work on the inside of the Superbird?
Yeah, I
or?
totally changed it. It was a stock interior. This was done in the 80s, and that's why it's that era.
Oh, sure, okay.
That was
yep.
what was in vogue at the time.
Yeah,
and
okay.
It's held up since the 80s.
Yep, wow, very neat. And obviously we go back here. Very nice vehicle. So you obviously drive it here? You drove it here, obviously?
Yep.
From Winona? Okay.
Yep, sure did.
Well, and again, take me back to how you found it again?
I was in a body shop and a classic car dealer brought it up that I know.
Okay.
Wanted me to do a quickie on it. I said, I'm not going to do a quickie on a Superbird.
Yeah.
And I said, a car like that deserves to be done right. So I ended up buying it from him just the way it was.
How many miles does it have on it?
68,000.
Oh, that's not bad at all. No, that's not bad. And we talked about this. You're in Tomah today. Do you do a lot of car shows or not?
Quite a few. Yeah,
okay.
Quite a few.
First time in Tomah?
First time in
First
Tomah.
time. It's a beautiful location, isn't it?
It is. And the weather's perfect.
Yeah, the weather really comes into play when you go to a car show, doesn't it?
It does.
Hey, thank you for talking with me. It's a beautiful vehicle. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
My pleasure.
And again, this is a Superbird. Gentleman we just talked with from Winona. Give you some more shots of it here. Shot from the front. Another shot from this side. Another look at the inside. So again, this is a 1970 Plymouth Roadrunner. One of the many cars down here at Winnebago Park on Memorial Day weekend. Part of the Tomah American Legion Truck and Car Show.
Hey, I gotta do it right.
Okay, Todd, this is the first award of the day. What award is this?
This is the Commander's Choice for 2023.
Okay, hopefully we'll talk.
Next up,
Gentlemen, talk about your vehicle for me if you don't mind.
People's Choice Award.
It used to be a fire truck. It's a 49 Ford Cavalry.
It was my choice also.
It was a fire truck for lacrosse. Then it was a hand-me-down to Stoddard.
Green Chevy truck.
When I got it, was just a cabin
Number
frame rails.
52.
Put it on a different chassis and made a
People's
bed
Choice
for it.
Award. That's also my choice. Very beautiful.
Okay,
vehicle. Come
are
on
you
up
going to
here
stick
and
around for a while? Will I have time to come down and talk to you and show it to me? Sure. Okay, I'll stick around.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much on the Commander's Award. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Yeah, that rolled in. I saw that.
Superbird. Me and the beards and the
All right.
beans are all mixed up.
This is the People's
Choice Award.
People's Choice Award. Talk about your vehicle for me, sir.
Oh, it's just a 36 Chevy pickup truck with a 350 in it, and 20-year project it took me to get built, and had a good time doing it all. So.
All right, and the last one we're going to give is
started out with a frame and built it all myself.
First time in Tomah for this?
Yep, first car show I've been to with it.
Really?
Yep.
Congratulations, thank you.
22.
Thanks a lot.
All right, we talked with you earlier. You just got the Girl Scout Award, correct? No, Best of Show, yeah.
Nice.
Congratulations.
Like I said, congratulations.
Baseball choice. Awesome, thank you.
This is this vehicle over here, which we showed earlier. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Great. Very nice to be recognized.
Well, thank you. Appreciate it.
Yep.
All right, you just won the award for Best of Show. Talk about your vehicle for me.
Well, it's a 36 Chevy.
Okay.
And as you can see, a lot of custom work.
Yep.
I had it painted by a guy in Dan Lenahan. It's called Sarge Green, a 2022 Jeep Wrangler Green. So, but 20-year making, and I got, in fact, I used a Ford Ranger box on it and put all the custom.
Yep.
I made all this custom steel work on the side, but the inside's all metal.
Sure.
And the interior here.
Oh, yes, very nice. Very
it's
nice.
all custom.
Okay.
I used in fact, I used a Chevy Suburban back seat in here that fits real nice in these, so if anybody's building them, they fit in there real nice. But
sure.
Had a custom dashboard made. My brother made that out of stainless steel.
Wow.
Brush laser
Wow.
cut, so that fit in
Wow.
there real nice. Yeah. But
so how do you find the vehicle? How do you find it?
actually, I found this behind my sister-in-law's. It was her
Okay.
great-grandpa's, and it was just a 1.5-ton dually, and
wow.
tore it down in the frame, and that's all I originally used was the frame. Everything else I bought, so it's all I built everything on this thing, all custom made.
How many miles on it?
Probably about 1,800 on the rebuilt motor.
Do you go to a lot of car shows?
Nope, this is the first one I've had this. I've had it finished about 2 years now,
Wow.
and this is the first one I've been to.
Very
And,
first one, you already won an award.
I won the best of show.
Good for you.
So, yeah, I'm really happy.
Hey.
2 years in a row I've picked the best of show vehicle.
Yeah.
Thank you for talking.
This year.
This is
And
nice.
you won.
Thanks a lot.
Hey, thank you for talking with me, sticking around. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Congratulations on the award.
Thank you. Have
Appreciate
a good
it.
day.
Okay, and this is the best of show winner. This is a 1936 Chevy truck. That's the front shot. Beautiful vehicle. 1936 Chevy truck. And this is the same vehicle from behind. 1936 Chevy truck, best of show winner. All right, you just won the Commander's Choice Award down here at Winnebago Park. Talk about your vehicle right behind me. It's a beautiful vehicle. What's the story on it?
It originally was a fire truck for the Cross Fire Department.
So it was a fire truck?
Yes.
Okay.
And then it was a hand-me-down to Stoddard. When I got it, it was just basically a frame and cab and nothing else, no firefighting equipment on it. So
Did you have to do a lot of renovation?
I put it on a 79 E350 chassis. My cousin in La Crescent at PT Welding built the bed for me.
Wow.
And I did all the mechanical and plumbing, electrical on it. The color is actually a Ford color. It's about 68 Ford Performance Red.
Wow, very nice. Now, do you go to a lot of car shows?
Quite a few, yes.
Okay. Is this the first award you ever won?
No.
No.
Quite a few since.
Okay, so you've been down that road before?
Yes, I've been here a few years already, and then tomorrow I'll be in Alaska for their show, and
sure.
Then I believe West Salem the next weekend, and just about every weekend I'll hit a show.
So do we have a special place picked out for this award, you think? Anything in mind?
It's going on the wall with the rest of mine.
Okay. Hey, thank you. I'm just going to get a few more shots of your vehicle before you take off. Hey, thanks for sticking around. I appreciate your time.
Glad to come down here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And that's the Commander's Award winner right there. Again, as he said, at one time it was a fire truck, and he's obviously restored it. And that's the front shot. And this is the same vehicle from behind. Beautiful vehicle. And one more look at the vehicle. So things are kind of wrapping up down here down at Winnebago Park. On this portion of the update, we've been down here at Winnebago Park on Saturday, Memorial Day weekend, for the 5th annual American Legion, Tomah American Legion Car and Truck Show. A lot of beautiful cars down here. We want to thank everybody that was nice enough to talk with us. Congratulations to all the award winners. We hope you enjoyed it here on the update.